Hello? Hello? Oh, hello there, and welcome to a new video from Banner's Gaming, Banner Gameplay and Banner's Gameplays 93 and Banner's Gaming 93. Um, Today's video will be a bit different one. Obviously, as you can see, FIFA 22 playing in the background on my Xbox as Arsenal's against someone, Rovers are just a random team. But yeah, that'll be playing in the background with no sounds, and obviously today's video is just be talking about the retro consoles. As you can't see at the moment, but I've got the original, the bad boy original Xbox, the big bad boy original Xbox in front of me to my right, and obviously next to it I've got the the original PS2 fat version, and also just for make it fairness, I've got the Nintendo Wii. Granted, that's not in the same era. Normally it'd be the GameCube, but obviously I haven't got one of those, so obviously I just thought if I chuck in the Wii in there. If I'm honest, though, I think probably take the Wii out for a different video. So obviously we'll put the Wii down there. It's obviously under the table. So today's video will be discussing obviously the PS2 versus the original Xbox. Obviously this was I believe what started the Xbox versus PS2 war, because obviously PS1 Sony only had PS1, so obviously Xbox didn't get released till near enough PlayStation 2 era. I think original Xbox was released 2000. Hang on, let's double check to make it more prop. The Xbox original release date, even though if it wasn't for the Xbox original release date was November 15th, 2001, while the PlayStation 2 was released. Yeah, so theoretically speaking, PlayStation 2 had an upper hand because it got released in March. Yeah, 4th of March 2000. So obviously just over a year before, and obviously the original Xbox got released November 2021. So theoretically speaking, the the PlayStation had the upper hand in sales. So theoretically speaking, so the PS2 has been now released nearly 24 years. Wow. 24 years ago nearly. Next month it'll be 24 years. Well, next November the original Xbox will be released 20 24 years. So 2001 minus 2024. So 23 years this year, 24 next year. So yeah. Overall, me personally, obviously, with the PlayStation 2, you had the memory cards, you had the iToy camera, you had the controllers. You was actually able to get PlayStation 2 online, which obviously via like an extra adapter that you had to get. Obviously, you've got two USBs down the bottom where obviously where your iToy will go. You've got another little um obviously another little input. I don't know exactly, if I'm honest, I don't know what that is. But obviously also on the back, so right, let's start all over again. Right, on the front, we're looking at the front. So we have two memory card slots, player one and two. We've got two controller ports, so obviously player one and two. You've got the reset button on the power button. You've got the disc tray button. Obviously, on the logo on the disc tray, you can actually move the logo. So obviously, if you was having it standing up, you can have it pointing up. If you got it down, like I have, which like sat down, then obviously have it like that. You also got two USB ports. You also have another port that I don't exactly know what that is, if I'm honest. On the back, we obviously have the power port where you put the power adapter in. You also have the AV input slot. And you also have another one, like an analog or digital out, which is optical, which obviously I don't know what you'll use that for. You also have the fan. You also have a slot where you could put an expansion pack, which obviously I don't know what that actually does, but obviously it come out. Obviously, I've got the PlayStation 2 Fat, which is obviously very original. So we'll put that there for the time being, because obviously we talked about what it has. Obviously, it's got a bit dusty, but obviously I did have a, those of you that know, I did have a PlayStation 2 Slim for a while, but I had to replace it with the PS2 Fat because it just kept overheating. So yeah, it's PS2. Now onto the original Xbox, which in my honest opinion, I know a lot of you are going to shout at me. I personally think the Xbox original is not only the best in its series, but it's slightly better than the PS2. Slightly. Only one reason why that is, and I'm going to tell you, PlayStation 2 had two controller port inputs. You could buy the multi-tap, which will give you to four of you, or if you have two multi-taps, you can have up to eight of you, but you have to buy that separately. As for the Xbox original, it actually came with four controller inputs, so you can have four of you playing in one Xbox. Also, on the original Xbox controllers, hang on, just bear with me for a minute. Obviously, you can't see me, but it's fine. As we're talking about the games, we might as well talk about the controllers. The PlayStation, the original Xbox actually has, because majority of original Xbox users would use the hard drive, which was built in, which is, I believe, is 80,000 blocks, which I don't know exactly what the, hang on, just bear with me for a minute, I'm cheating. But yeah, so PlayStation 2, obviously you had to use memory cards. The highest memory card you could get for the PS2 would be the one that I've got, which is 256 megabytes. I believe that's the highest, I believe. I don't know. But yeah, Xbox. Hang on a minute. Xbox original storage. The Xbox original storage had an 8 or 10. That's not it, because that's the Xbox console. Oh, here we are. The original Xbox had an 8 gigabyte of storage. So obviously, that's which is what they call then was blocks, which obviously you had 80,000, I believe it's 80,000 blocks plus. Obviously, that's how much, so it's very rarely you would fill that up. Because obviously back then, obviously when we was gaming then, you put the disc in, you buy the disc from the shop, you get home, put the disc in the Xbox or or PS2 or whatever you're playing, and the game will load up straight away. No need to download or update anything or buy extra add-ons just to run the game. What we've got now, which obviously some games nowadays takes, depending on your Wi-Fi. Obviously, I'm with Giganet, so obviously mine's quite quick. Obviously, it can download GTA 5 in about half an hour, 40 minutes ish, all depending on what speed I am. But yeah, back then, we never had none of that trouble. We never had none of this, where you had to buy extra stuff to purchase extra stuff to get on progress on the game. In order for you to actually play the game like it should be, you just have to put the disc in, put your controller in, off you go. It was simple as that. And obviously, it's if you wanted to unlock extra characters, you would have to play through the game and obviously unlock them during the game and all this sort of stuff. Back, yeah, okay, you nowadays you have got you have got the graphics, but in my eyes, it's in my eyes, it doesn't matter about the graphics in my eyes. But again, so obviously we're playing game number two, which is obviously, I'm not worried about that. So obviously I have put no sound on the game, yeah, but we're abiding by that. So obviously, is that game number two? Should be. Yeah, yeah, match two. So obviously Arsenal winning 1-0. But anyway, apart from that, don't worry about that. I'm more worried about talking about the original Xbox versus the PS2. Like I was saying, The original Xbox is slightly better in my eyes. Apparently, it was more powerful, granted, but again, it's not about having a powerful console back then. It was about having your friends over, enjoying the game, obviously playing against each other, playing with each other, whatever, all this sort of stuff. In my eyes, it's about the memories. It still is about the memories. Obviously, I'm part of a gaming group now. Obviously, I collaborate with them. We're playing Fortnite tonight, so obviously we'll be a little bit later on, and obviously I'll be recording that because not obviously I've started doing obviously use my voice, so obviously get used to my voice, and maybe one day do a video, do use my webcam and all that sort of stuff. But it's already obviously it depends. But yeah, as I was saying, the original Xbox, in my personal opinion, Xbox Series S and X have got nothing on the original Xbox. Because at the end of the day, no matter what you lot think, at the end of the day, this is my opinion. If it wasn't for the original Xbox, Xbox wouldn't be on the market. End of story. Like PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1. If it wasn't for those two consoles, PlayStation 3, 4, 5, PlayStation P Portable, PlayStation all these consoles that we have now, and all the graphics and stuff, if it wasn't for the older consoles, we wouldn't be having these consoles. This is what a lot of people need to understand. Yes, a lot of these youngsters can say, "Oh, the graphics on the original Xbox is crap," blah 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 blah. But again, if it wasn't for the older consoles, then they wouldn't have what you have now. The most sold PlayStation for Sony is the PS2, which I believe is 156 million in counting, or something along those lines. The most sold Xbox, I haven't got one, but Xbox is the Xbox 360. I don't know how many units they've sold. To be honest, I don't really care because I never really got on with the 360, if I'm honest. Hence why I haven't got one. Um, the most sold Nintendo, as we'll talk about it, is the Switch. And out of the three latest consoles, the Xbox Series S and X, because I count them as still one console technically, even though they're two separate consoles, but they're still the same. Uh, so all right, okay, we'll use it as that. As a set as the out of the four, the Series S, X, as well as the PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch is the most sold out of all four of them, which makes me laugh. It does make me laugh because you get all these people that are saying, "Oh yeah, Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5 is better than Nintendo," when actually, in fact, no, it's not. Because in my personal opinion, on the Switch, you can take the Switch anywhere and play your games. You can have it on the lap, you can have it on the computer, you can have it on the TV, you can have it on handheld mode, you can have it on tabletop mode, put it on the table, you still play. The Xbox and PlayStation 5 can't do that yet. Yes, you can buy TV, you could buy like a little screen for it, granted, but that's like an extra £200-300. And obviously you might as well you can buy yourself a decent Switch for that. So obviously, but again, we'll do that as another video. But this video is mainly about the original Xbox versus the PlayStation 2. The Back then as well, you did have game exclusives for the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox. Obviously, original Xbox had obviously stuff like Halo, which obviously I've got a few videos on my channel. Obviously, I will be doing the Master Chief Collection, which I played it on. If it's the PS2 had well, even though Xbox had it as well, games like Tony Hawk's, Crash, Tekken, Need for Speed, all this sort of stuff. Obviously, Xbox have got Forza and obviously other games and all this sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's my personal opinion. It's what I grew up with. So I know a lot of you are going to shut me down saying no, Ben, PS2 is better. I don't think it is. I yes, I had more memories on the PS2, granted, but it would be more magical for me you know, if my friend said, "Oh yeah, bring the Xbox over," I'd prefer to spend time on the Xbox than on the PS2 because I've got a PS. I had both. I've got the crystal version of the Xbox original here, which was my sister's, but obviously now I've got it from her. I brought obviously the PS2 Slim. I brought a Nintendo Wii. I've also got a Switch. I've got an Xbox One. I'm hoping to get a SNES. Obviously, my dad's got one. My dad's got a Sega as well, Sega Mega Drive. Again, I'll have a word with him if I'm able to use obviously one of his Segas and obviously his SNES and all sorts of stuff. Because then I would love to do a like a not a it's not a review. It's just my opinion about stuff and all sorts of stuff. Even though I didn't have that many memories on the SNES or the Sega Mega Drive. But again, it's mainly the Xbox original and PlayStation 2 that I grew up on, and obviously the PSP. I did have a little bit with the Xbox 360, but like I said, I didn't really get on with it. At the end of the day, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Some people will be going left by saying the Xbox original is better, but also some will be going on the right saying the PS2 is better. At the end of the day, people are entitled to what they believe. They're entitled to their own opinion, all sorts of stuff. So at the end of the day, there's no right or wrong answer. Obviously, it's down to what each person believes. It's just I don't know, I'm not open for a discussion if people want to do it, that's fine. But it's sad in my opinion because all these now modern day gamers, they say, oh yeah, modern games better than retro, when actually in fact, retro is better than the modern games. And it's simply because when I was growing up, like I said, buy a game, put it in the console, whatever you're playing, and then it will load up pretty much nearly straight away. Then obviously you can play it. You don't have to worry about no upgrades, no updates, or no download speed. It takes you like 6 hours to play the game. If you could complete, if you was good at the game, you could complete a game in 6 hours. It was that simple. And this is what people need to realize, it's fine saying, oh yeah, I'm playing Fortnite, blah 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 blah. I'm playing, I don't know, Apex or Rocket League or the modern games. And then obviously you most games back then were offline, so obviously you didn't have the sweaty people. You didn't have the people that would like play it all the time and ruin it for everyone by killing them and getting them rage and getting people banned and all sorts of stuff and didn't have no hackers or no modders or anything back then, but now it's just become, oh, I'm better than you. Oh, I'm going to kill you, blah, 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 blah. But it shouldn't be like that. But obviously, all these, big companies, they don't care about the fans. They care about, they care about, the money. And this is why a lot of companies, trying to stay afloat. And obviously, the big companies will obviously stay afloat, but obviously, it is what it is at the end of the day. But me personally, some of the games, the older games, do need either a remaster or reboot or whatever. I mean, look at Crash and Spyro. Look at how good they're getting. And I think they're on about remastering the Lara Croft Tomb Raider trilogy. Right, again, it's companies using them as remasters. As I don't know if Abe's Odyssey's getting remastered. I don't know. But obviously, Call of Duty, I don't understand why they're remastering that because, to be honest, it was a rubbish game. I've seen so many mixed reviews about Call of Duty, the whole series as a whole. But it's stuff like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. They need to remaster that because obviously they remastered they remastered 1 and 2, but obviously it must have done that bad that they're like, tell you what, we're not remastering 3 and 4 now. And it's just like, why? It's just so you remastered the two crap ones. No wonder why they didn't do that well because they're crap. But again, I had a lot of memories. Or even if they, you know, remastered Tony Hawk's Underground 1 and 2, stuff like that. And it's just stuff like that. It's just these companies need to, stop being so money hungry. They should actually start listening to what people want. I mean, it's like me personally, Crash to Insanity needs a remaster. But actually have them to give the company actually time to finish the game. Because yes, okay, that's one of the best Crash games. It actually is. It doesn't matter what people say. There are. I personally believe that they could do new features, but again, we'll discuss that for another day. I want to have play that station with me to discuss it as well. But obviously, this we're going off topic. Right, the Xbox original versus the PlayStation 2. Like I said, I given my verdict. The PlayStation 2, uh, the Xbox original is better than the PlayStation. The Xbox original is better than the PlayStation 2. So that's my personal opinion. And obviously, I to get you can have games that both, you know, that play both games, i.e., games like Tony Hawk's, FIFA, PES. Majority of the games you can play on both consoles, and to be honest, there's not much difference between the two consoles. If I'm not like between the two consoles, obviously on Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex on the Xbox, you actually had a cheat code. I think it's Wombat, which you can actually input it and it will complete the game for you. You know, all that sort of stuff. But I mean, obviously there isn't that slightly. Yes, okay, you might have slight different graphics between the two, but again, I'm not really a person for graphics. As long as I can see what I'm doing, I couldn't really care about the t what the s- what the because back then I believe both of them was on 480p or something like that, and it was just like yes, okay, you get USBs to convert into HDMI now to give it up to a bit better, but again, it's not going to make that much difference because obviously it can only do what it can do at the end of the day. But obviously, like I said, it's each to their own. At the end of the day, it's my opinion that says Xbox original is better than PlayStation 2, despite the fact that PlayStation 2 sold way more like consoles than the original Xbox. But again, it's the same old story, isn't it? PlayStation, but Sony versus Microsoft versus Nintendo. Because it used to be Sega versus obviously Nintendo, but now it's Sony versus obviously Microsoft versus Nintendo. So each their own at the end of the day. Right, we are gonna we are gonna wrap it up because obviously that's game two. Obviously Arsenal celebrating. Obviously, well, it'd be a no-brainer if Arsenal lost, I'll start laughing. But again, like I said, I feel like I've spoken too much. But I will be talking about the games and stuff. But I do want more people to join me in. Obviously, like I said, I'm playing Fortnite tonight. Uh, I'll be doing more videos and stuff. So yeah, so obviously let me know what you think in the comment section below. Again, this is my opinion. I'm not here to start any wars or anything. At the end of the day, Xbox Originals was better than PlayStation 2, despite PlayStation 2 selling more copies. It's that is at the end of the day, it's down to each individual. In my book, the Xbox Original beat the PlayStation 2 in my book. But again, that's my book. But anyway, I'm gonna see you guys later because I have been speaking for 23 minutes. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Right, goodbye.